Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching! And by the way, guys, I just published a book out on Amazon. It's called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And today we have a very special guest who I consider family, one of my closest friends, the one and only
Hey,
Melissa.
what's up?
Woo!
What's up? What's up? Okay, Bessie.
Yo, you don't understand. I'm so happy you're here, Bessie,
Thank you
because
so much for having me. I really I really appreciate this to be on your podcast and everything. Oh, I love this.
of course, I need you. You're a real one, so definitely had to bring you in. But look, I want to say something, right? So we've been knowing each other for a while now,
hmm
and it feels like centuries. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And my favorite moment I can remember is the Halloween party at Cassie.
Oh,
So
damn.
let me tell y'all. So this girl, she just got transferred, like promoted. So she's at this new building with us, and I don't know her that much, right? I only know a little bit. I could tell she's positive, got a lot of energy. And I was telling my crew, I was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to Cassie Beach House, and it's a popping spot in Vegas at the Virgin Hotel." I get there all dressed up. I'm like Taz from Looney Tunes, and my boy Zach is what's it called? He's Dr. Seuss, and Tristan is the Cat in the Hat. Yeah.
Okay.
So we looking fresh. I'm not gonna lie, we looking good. Oh, actually, I was Chucky. My bad. I was Chucky. We get there, and it was so cool that we actually bump into Melissa and her friends. And I'm not gonna lie, okay, ladies and gentlemen, Melissa got some baddie friends. I'm not lying. Like I
You know,
think my
my friends
glasses
are
got
baddies.
yeah, like my glasses got foggy and stuff. Like I couldn't
You
see
said.
straight. Yeah, yeah, like that, like that. I couldn't see straight. Like it really caught me off guard, and it was so cool. We were vibing, and like everybody danced, got a couple of drinks, and it was just a good time because the next day we couldn't stop laughing about what happened last night, and it was a good time. But what about you, Bessie? What was the first time like or first impression when we met, and our first time meeting, and also like what you remember that Halloween party?
Honestly, the first time I met you, I was like, oh, cool, okay, we got David over here. He makes jokes and everything. For me, I don't know, it's usually really easy for me to get to talk to people and everything. So like as soon as I got in, I was like, hey, what's up, David? Introduce myself. And like after that, I was like, oh yeah, he bestie for real, for real. So that was like my first interaction because it was like, hey, what's up? What's up? But for the Halloween party, that was crazy because y'all planning to go to Cassie. I had no plans to go do anything. And then last minute, they're like, oh, we want to do something. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't have no Halloween outfit. Let me go to Hottie's real quick and see what they got. So I'm out here going through all the Halloween costumes. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear this one. I saw I was a police officer. I was like, wee, 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 wee.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then we went to Cassie, and it was just like me and my two other friends, and my friends that worked there too. And then I was like, oh my gosh, because I really, at that moment, I was still like getting to know you guys. And I was just like, damn, there goes my boss, my co workers. So I was just like, I don't know. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, eating, and then I was just like, should I just say something? And then that's when I was like, hey, what's up, everybody? And I was like, damn, hopefully they don't see me in a different light because we outside, we not at work. And I was just like, okay. But it was lit. It was lit. It was cool to see y'all. It was cool to have a good time with y'all. So, it's always good vibes.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. So look, Bessie, and I appreciate the kind words. I want to tell you, for the fans to get us to know you more, because tonight's
Hmm.
about you, right?
Yeah,
You're our
yeah,
special guest. Hey, so if you could share too, like tell us a little bit about like your childhood, like growing up, and like then moving to Vegas. If you could share a little bit, spill the beans, maybe not the cheese, but yeah.
yeah. Just the beans.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I was born. I don't know if most people know me or not, but I was born and raised in Kenya, in Nairobi. So pretty much my childhood was pretty lit. A lot of people will say I'm spoiled, but I'm really not spoiled. I would say I lived an okay life, but my grandparents are the ones that brought me up, and then I ended up moving to America. But my childhood, literally, it was a simple life. Like it was just a life of me always like running around, climbing trees, walking barefoot, getting lost with the dogs in the garden, like just doing random shit. But like I started school and it's just like I was on there, I was on my shit for a second. I was like, damn, I'm a little smart. And then got to like middle school and stuff. Like literally, my whole persona changed, and I feel like going through adolescence kind of like took a different level to me, and I became more calm. Like when I was a child, like I used to be like, yeah, 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 like on the go. Why can't if he can do this? Why can I not do this? I can do this. So it's just like growing up and learning, and then also like as soon as I got to middle school again, like literally, it was just like switch. I was like a tomboy. I was literally a tomboy. I would never used to be girly girly. Like fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, I was just like, what is it being a girl? What does it matter? Like I was like literally that person. And then after the eighth grade, I was like, yeah, it's time to like move out to like, America, live with my parents and my mom, just have that experience with her just because she's not the one that raised me. My grandparents did. And I feel like I lacked a portion of my life, getting to know her, getting to know the type of person she was. So I was like, let me go see what America's about. Let me go meet my mom. Cause she had left me when I was 9 months. When she was 9 months. When I was 9 months. So literally, she had me, raised me for 9 months, and then she came to America to like get a better living and everything, which is good because like honestly, she was able to like provide everything that I needed to like get ahead in life. Like she was able to like send money. I was able to like eat food every single day. Like I was able to like have shoes, clothes, and everything. So I really appreciate that. I'm grateful for everything on her end for that. And then I moved out here, and I was just like, ooh, life is a little different over here. I was just like, damn. So it was like a whole big transition. I moved it like for like schools and everything. Like I moved in, they're like, yeah, guess what? Like, like you're gonna start like second year of sophomore year, like second semester of sophomore year. And I was like, oh, I haven't even done like, like basically freshman. They were like, oh, your grades are like too good for you to like start from freshman year. So I was like, okay, bet. So I ended up having like 2.5 years of high school, which is lit. So me coming from a different country, like put a lot of perspective on everything that is out here, like school wise and everything. But honestly, moving out here, the transition was a little harder because I felt like I did not make a lot of friends in high school. Like I did not have a lot of like relationships that I built in high school just because it was just like I thought it was gonna be like the movies, You're watching like one of the movies where all the girls are like, "Oh my gosh!" and these cliques and chalks and like High School Musical, some shit like that. I thought that's how school in America was gonna be, but came out here as a different scenario. I was just like, hold on, this is not it. But honestly, like I overcame that, and then in college. I met more. I started making more friends, and then now, like my personal life, like just outside, like I've made more friends, which like I feel like that's built me to the person that I am today. But literally every experience that I've had since I was a kid, like growing up from a different country, growing up with my grandparents, them taking care of me, and I feel like I learned so much from them just because their culture was instilled in me. And then not like that's something if I was to have kids, I could show them too. So it's just like that was like a sense of like a little bits and pieces of like how like my life and my childhood and like how it like progressed.
Oh, I love it. I love it. My life, my life, my life, my life.
Yeah.
So So look, Bessie, that's so dumb. That's so, and like, what is like a quote or maybe a saying that your grandparents always said to you growing up that like stick to you? A quote, maybe. What is something that you remember? Like you're like, damn, they right. You know what I'm saying? Yes.
I mean, oh, they just say always work hard. That's I feel like that's one thing, like the instinct. I mean, it's not like necessarily a quote, but it's just like they always reminded me to put my all in everything. So I feel like if you look at like my life right now, like everything that I do, I try and do my best in. So I feel like it's not necessarily a quote, but like how they taught me,
Okay.
like how they instincts, my thoughts, like, hey, like, you're doing this, you gotta go for it, you gotta go in it and like do it and like ace it and like go ahead. So that's, I feel like, not a quote but more of a like a push and like kind of a reminder, like, hey, it's your life, you need to work hard. So I feel like that's kind of like one of the things like they really push me to remember.
Wow, I love that. You know, I noticed that like a lot of people that like I love my grandparents and I'm gonna be
Mhm.
honest with you, they have a type of love that's like different than their own child. I feel like because they've always wanted to have grandkids, just seeing us, it brings like this light, like this happiness, this joy. And I think that's why we always like when I used to get in trouble and my
Mhm.
grandma was visiting and I knew I was gonna get it, like I knew I was in big trouble. And I go, Grandma, protect me.
And she'd
And
be
my
like, come
yeah,
here.
yeah, come here, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just it. Like we just feel like they're like amazing. Like it's so hard for them to get mad, you know what I'm saying?
No, it is hard for them. I mean, the times my grandparents got mad at me, it was valid. It was actually because I was a bad kid, but like they never got mad at me that often. If I got good grades, I did my homework. I didn't do nothing shady or crazy. Then they're good. But if I did, but which will be like once in a blue moon though, but you know that love, like they showed me a lot and like they showed me how to love, even though it's like more so in African culture, like we're really really strict, so we don't really know how to they don't, like my grandparents or like anybody around me don't that really don't know how to like show emotion. So like when it came to emotion, it's just like, oh, we know we love each other but we're not gonna speak about it. I'm not even gonna hug about it, but I love you, right? Like that's like the in your head it's just like, yeah, I know you care about me, but like we won't show that we care about you just because of how strict they were. Like emotion, it was like weakness over there. So it's like if you show emotion, yeah, you're out here, you know.
No, no, no. It's very, very interesting because I know the in Hispanic community too. Like, it's very like we don't. It's very similar. We don't like to show our emotions, like like hug. You know what I'm saying? So or
Mhm.
say I love you. It's very not really. I guess not talked about so much. It's very like we save it here. You know what I'm saying?
No, that is true. But at the end of the day, those are the people that go down hard for you. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. Now, look, I wanna share something for
Mhm.
the people to know. So I'm gonna be honest. You know, me and Melissa, we've been going out for a minute with like the crew, and one day it was so funny. She calls me and she got so jealous. She's like, "I can't believe you went out without me, and you took the whole girl." And I had to explain to her. I was like, "Look, Bessie, I know I got love for you too, but the thing is, Tuesday night is guys' night out. You already know. Like I ain't lying.
I said I could be one of the boys.
Yeah, I know, I know." I said, "Bessie, don't worry. There's gonna be a time." And it was what was really nice is you came over one of my soul session, and I was talking about like the history of Passover. And I was like, Bessie, you could come through. You know, I'm gonna make a co-ed like remix, so like everybody can mingle. You know, and it was so nice because when I was sharing the story of Passover, right? I love that you knew one of the questions to the story. You're like, yeah, it's when God basically passed over, you know,
Yep.
and made sure if there was blood on the doors that the firstborn would be protected, and if not, they'll be killed. That's what happened to the Egyptians at those times in the biblical times. And I was like, I was so shocked. Even the guys were shocked. They didn't even know the answer. The fact that they've been coming for a long time. So the fact that Melissa beat them to it, I was like, damn, we got a smarty here. And
You
I
said,
was like,
oh.
yeah, I was like, yo, she too smart. And I think it was beautiful because, that day we were talking about of, helping the poor.
Mhm.
And there's a book I was sharing. It's called The Ways of the Sadiqim, the ways of the righteous, where it says if you give money to a homeless person, you get like six blessings. But if you actually talk to them and basically be their friend, you get like eight blessings. 11, my bad, 11 blessings.
Mhm.
And it was a little beautiful lesson. But what I love is today, like on our road, right? Me and Melissa, we were driving, and I went to drop her off, and she said something that was so powerful that it made me feel good because it
And
felt
you
like
know
she
the thing
paid
is,
attention.
when I
Yeah,
said that, I
yeah,
wasn't even
yeah,
thinking about the book that
yeah, yeah. So I was like, yo, I gotta connect the dots. So, ladies
you're.
and gentlemen, I saw Melissa a couple days later, and we're driving, and she said to me, yesterday, I went to get food, but I saw this guy, and he looked like he was hungry, and you could tell people, they may have it rougher than you. And sometimes we forget to be grateful of what we have.
That's true.
And you went to get him some McDonald's, and it made his day. You can
It was
see the
Chipotle.
Chipotle. My bad, my bad, my bad. See, you doing better. And it was Chipotle, and like it made his day. And I thought that was really beautiful, and I could see the tears in your eyes. Like it was coming from your heart. Like you wanted to do this. No one told you. You felt like you had to. Can you share a little bit about that moment that you were telling me, and also like going back to the soul session, like your first
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. So pretty much, I don't know. I was just coming out from my Pilates class. I was beat. I was down bad. Like, I was just tired. And I was just like, I don't feel like cooking. Like, let me go get me like a little salad from like Chipotle or something, just to like fill my stomach a little bit. So I'm driving, like, mind you, in the class, like, I cried a little bit just because that class was tough as hell. Like, I was just like, what am I doing here? But I was just like, it's for me. Like, stay here, whatever. So, I pushed through. But as I went to get food, and I'm parking my car, and I see this guy just sitting down, like he's not even walking around trying to beg. He just sitting down and just relaxing. He has his sign down, saying he just needs food. And in my head, I remembered one thing. I was just like, like I'm going to get food. Like, what's the reason why I should not get him food? Like he's hungry. Like, why not? If I have it, why not help him? So I was just like, okay. So I went in. I didn't even go ask him like, what do you want? I just got him food. Because here you go. So I literally got food, walked out, and I was like, here you go, sir. This is for you. And he literally waved at me, and he was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then I got into the car, and he picked at his food a little bit, and he packed his bags, and he left. And I was just like, damn, like this man was just sitting out here just waiting for somebody to at least give him dinner for the night. Like it just touched me. It's like we have it this good. Like we complain so much about everything that we have going on in life, and we have it good. This is not bad. Like everybody that's around me, like everybody that I know, like every situation that we've been through, it's just like it's not as bad as other people. And it was just like it reminded me, it's just like we always say, like, complain, like, hey, like this is not it, this is not it. But like honestly, there's other people out there that don't even have what we got. So it was just like it hit me, and I'm just like, we're just so, I mean for me for sure like I 100% complain almost every day, so it just reminded me like I need to be grateful for everything that I have, and the fact that I was even able to like sh- give the guy food that was like amazing, just because now look man, he's gonna go home and like be happy and eat his food. Maybe he's gonna go share with his family just because that's the only time thing that he was able to get. At least he could come home and like, hey, like here you go. This is what I was able to get. So it's just like thinking about like being grateful, like being thankful, and it's just like the little things I feel like in life always matter, because it's just like we take so much for granted, but we really don't see the bigger picture. And that's like how like it resonated with me, and then like I was just crying, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But I'm really not an emotional person. But yeah, yesterday I don't know what's going on.
Oh, Bessie, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. And tell me too, like, how was it like coming to your first soul session with the crew at the house? Like, tell me.
Honestly, I really loved it. Like, I really enjoyed that the fact, a group of guys. I feel like a lot of people don't even do this on their own time. They come together, like, that you speak of the word and like you share just your personal life stories and you help each other, advise each other. Like, literally, that moment, I was just like, damn, at least you guys care about each other enough to come together and like sit down and just share life experiences, share the word, like, share your knowledge. So it was like just amazing just to see like the connection that y'all had and like the discussion and like just listening to the word too, and like just having everybody around like bonding and smiling and like enjoying themselves. I feel like that was like a really good session, and I'm glad you invited me. I was like the first time I was like, damn, okay, finally he invited me.
Oh man, no, that makes me happy. Like you don't understand. It's a big deal because I always said when you break bread with people that come to your house,
Mhm.
that's when you know your family.
That
That's
is
when you
true.
really know. You feel me? And I just love like my thing is like every Tuesday it fills my soul just to be able to like serve my family, my
Was it
friends.
Abraham that we're talking about that always had people over?
Yeah,
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 that's
like she pay
you.
attention. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Like that's a great example. He had that big. He will have more. I forgot how many people. Like maybe like hundreds or 70 people every day or more to come over to his house, and he would serve them food. and and I was sharing how like hospitality is a big key.
Mhm.
My mom always said you have to give the best, give the guest the best. That's real hospitality. So if someone comes to your house and they want to stay the night, you give
Mhm.
them your room because you want to treat them like royalties. So that way, when you are invited to their house, they will do the same with you.
Yeah, that is true.
You know. So I'm really happy, and like it just made my day. Just the fact that you came. We had some fancy wine, some rashi.
And so Ashi.
Oh man, I was so
Thank
happy, and but
you.
and
I
then
was glad to be a part of that experience, because you never really see that like that experience and that people bonding together around anymore. It's just like more everybody's just like sitting down on their phones like at dinner, like taking pictures of like everything instead of just like having that moment together and like connecting. So it was like nice to see, and most of it because you guys are guys, like you wouldn't expect when they say guys night, like what is guys night, right? It's like what we doing, right? But like guys' night, it was actually good to see what guys' night is really about. It's really about bonding, sharing your experiences and like just connecting with each other, which was amazing to see.
thank you, Bessie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like a lot of men were taught in a very young age to not express ourselves, to hold
Mhm.
it in, just suck it up, and just move on, right? But sometimes we need that space to just let it out to vent. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? Because someone next to you may be going through the same thing or went through it and
But can't
overcome it.
speak up. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I like when Zach was sharing something private, right? He was sharing something he was going through,
Mhm.
and I think it was my brother Rod. He
Mhm.
shared something too
Mhm.
that he went through that helped out Zach's situation, because he's like, I know where you're going. Like I know what you can ask your friend. You know, it
Yeah.
was a really beautiful thing,
Yeah, no, it was like beautiful to listen to too.
right? And yeah, it's just a nice thing to you know, like you said, getting people together, growing, learning. And then you came back for a second time.
Yeah.
I was so happy. I was like, "Yo, we need another remix." So she came back, and I think that time this was really cool because for the first time I got to share the whole crew. It was a little different because we all got to participate in this new food. Um, you could say invention in a way. So we took a matzah, ladies and gentlemen, and we basically put the pizza sauce and some cheese,
That was actually really good.
right?
I enjoyed that.
Thank you, thank you. And it was so nice. We all got to try it. We got to eat it. And it only took like 15 minutes and it was fun. And the best part is that like I was like, guys, I got a little surprise for y'all. And I gave each one of you a box of
Lots of
matzah.
matzo, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I said, look, you can eat it with your eggs, with beans, hummus. You know, if you want to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Go right ahead.
that's a big cracker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it was really nice. That was a fun time. Um, yeah, Bessie. And what about that night? Do you anything you want to share about that night?
I mean, that night, I feel like mostly I learned about openness and like you welcoming people and how important, it is to treat people like how you would want to be treated. And I feel like it was a great example because, like, the example was just literally you. Like, you invite us to your house, you welcome us with open arms, you're there for us, you make sure we're good, you cooked for us. Like, the food was amazing. Hold on. I'm gonna be coming back for plates with Tupperware. Like, can I get to go? But like, just like, like having that openness and like realization, like, yeah, this is actually David. Like, he actually takes his time, to have people, his close people, to come in and like you make sure we're taken care of. And I feel like that was like a really big thing. So I really am thankful for you, David, because like, you're building strong relationships over here.
Oh, that's so sweet, Bessie. It means a lot, really, really. It does. I do want to say, right? You were talking about something that really, was really powerful about, you know, working hard, right? Let's go back to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, put your fullest, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
that if you do that for anything, like let's do relationship, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
relationship. Some people are like, "Oh, I give my 50 because they'll give their 50." Nah, you gotta really
Gotta give it your all, like in
right.
everything. Like, I get it, it's 50, you say 50-50, but like y'all gotta come together and like work for it together, put all your all in, like making that relationship grow and like sprout and like, become something beautiful. But you always gotta put a lot, like everything, like it doesn't even matter if it's like the smallest task, you gotta put your all in it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you definitely give a lot of good advice too. Like I gotta share
It's the thing
this.
though. I give good advice, but if you look at me, like, what's the hold on? I be confused. I'm like, am I a therapist? Because at this point, I need to start charging everybody. No, just like.
Cha-ching. You know what I'm saying? Oh man. No, but for real, girl. One of my I have to share this, but one of my something that you shared that so you went out, you went to the club and you met this young boy, okay? This young white boy, and you're like, man, he was really nice, treat me good. And I
Yeah.
and I said, Bessie, I don't know how to tell you this, but he ain't no keeper. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
I
nah, but
mean,
he,
you were right. You were
yeah,
right. Oh,
yeah. And
you
you're like,
were
nah,
right.
but he different. He different. I said, all right, girl, I'll let you live life.
And
And
guess
then
what?
when next you know, she hits me up. She goes, damn, you were right. He ain't trying to talk. And I said, yeah, girl, I'm gonna tell you. And it's crazy because it was me and Tristan. And I was telling you, I said, look, Bessie, I'm gonna tell you what my brother Gil told me. He's like, if you want to find the right person, you can't find them at the bar, because at the bar they trying to, or at the club, their goal is basically enjoy life, but don't take it serious. That's kind of like their mindset, right? If you find them at like a, like let's say at a place of worship, right, or somewhere at a coffee shop, it's a little different. Their
Mm-hmm.
mindset is more clear. They're not trying to play games. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think those places, or even at work, you meet somebody, you click real well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little different. You
Yeah.
feel like, okay, they're trying to be genuine, or they are genuine.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, you got to look at different avenues. But the good thing is, now when you go out, you're like,
Yeah, I'm good.
yeah, he ain't for me.
Oh
You can
my
still
god,
dance.
that
You can still
was
dance.
that was like really. I mean, I don't regret anything in life. I've learned never to regret anything. Scared of nothing because 100% of the shots you don't take, you miss. Okay, so if I'm gonna shoot, I'm gonna shoot. So I was like, hey, he kind of fine. It's like got his number, whatnot. He was talking, and in my head it didn't really click. I was just out here in the Lululand, like, oh my gosh, like he's talking to me, like he want to see me. So we go on our first date. Our first date was cool. We talked, like, we actually like went over a lot of things, random things, and I was just like telling him about my life, and he was telling me about his life, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool, okay, I see. And he wanted to hang out longer. Like we went to the date, we were there for like 3-4 hours or something, and then he had a concert to go to, and he was like, actually, if I might not go, but if I go, I'm coming back. I was like, sure. But I ended up telling him I'm too tired. But literally just the second day, I was just like, okay, cool, getting to know this man. I'm like trying to see the vibes, and my little self is just like, yeah, but literally, like everybody has a motive, and I feel like he had a motive, and like I wish like we had discussed about boundaries earlier rather than later, just because like I feel like I mean, I don't regret it, but I feel like I wasted my time putting energy into somebody and trying. Like honestly, the little stuff that I did for him, like I never do for anybody.
Yeah.
Like nobody. So for me, I'm a lover girl, but I would not show it until I know you you with it, right? 'Cause I was just like, okay, I was just like free balling. I'm like, I'm just dating him. Like, why not? Like, made him a whole charcuterie board, like a nice charcuterie board. And then, like, literally after that date, it was just like it just went downhill. And I was just like, yep, David was right. David was right. But you know what? I love about the whole situation. At least I gave it a shot, and I try to have a positive outlook. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, just instead of judging him, at first sight. Because I always say, don't judge a book by its cover, but sometimes you might have to judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, chapter 7. You funny girl. But look, it looks like Zoom about to kick us out. But
Damn, I was
I
just
know,
having fun. I just like,
I know we getting real deep. So look, guys, y'all know where to find me. Um, This is the Outlet to Reality, the oldest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take One Pass It. And my TikTok is at Yaakov 28. And Melissa, Bestie, quick, where can my
yeah.
fans find you?
Oh
on
yeah,
social
you can
media?
find me at MUKI_KIBZ. That's on my Instagram, and then for my Snapchat, it's Melkiz MELKIBZ. I don't know if I should put my YouTube out there, but I do have a TikTok. It's MUKIKIBZ. You'll find me on there too. But I literally just don't post a lot or like do But you'll find me on IG a lot though. So hit me up.
Yeah.